Hello everyone. In this video, we are basically going to continue the chapter 6. This is the second part of that chapter from the book The Psychology of Money. And if you remember from the last video, chapter 6 was about how tail events have an influence on the final outcome of your business, investment, or finance strategies. So let's take it a step further and talk about how tail events actually influence things with a few more examples. So if you are a good, let's say if you're a good business owner, then by definition you would be a good business owner if 50% of your products are actually doing well, because the rest of the 50% will not be doing so good. If you are good in investing, then there is a high chance that most of your years while investing would just be okay, and a few would be really, really bad. And when it comes to financing, if you are investing, let's say if you're a stock picker, then in that case you would pick up maybe 50% of your stocks that would not perform really, really well. And to just give you one more example, this is a saying from Mr. Peter Lynch, and he says like if you are really good at investing, if you're really, really good at investing, then you would be only right 6 out of 10 times. And yeah, but these are the kind of businesses where you can actually afford to make wrong decisions, but then eventually there is a possibility that you might still end up making money. But there are a few businesses where you cannot actually be wrong. In fact, you have to be perfect in some of the businesses. For example, if you are a pilot, a commercial airliner pilot, then in that case you have to be perfect. I guess if you're not perfect, and then I think all it takes is one mistake um, for you to basically not have a try again, basically. And but then there are a few other occupations where you have to be not perfect, but you have to be pretty good most of the times. For example, that would be like being a chef, for example, right? But when it comes to investing, business, and finance, they are different, and they require a different approach. So the thing is, this fact of tail events is actually acknowledged by a lot of successful companies. I'll give you a few examples. I don't know if you've heard about this Amazon Fire Phone. So this was a big project initiated by Amazon. It didn't go really well, and then you would expect that a company like Amazon would not be okay with such failures in which they have invested a lot of money. But in fact, this was actually kind of like made fun of by their CEO at that time, or I think he's still the CEO, Jeff Bezos, who said like if you're worried about this failure, then be ready. There are gonna be more bigger failures than Fire Phone. And the fact that he's able to say that is because that most of the money that Amazon earns, it actually comes from AWS, which is a tail event in the big company Amazon, which is basically making them billions of dollars. And then I'll give you one other example of the CEO of Netflix. He once said that their hit ratio of all the productions that they make is very high. And so what they should do is basically they should take more risks. They should try new ideas. And he was actually encouraging failure because their hit rate was so high, and they know the more they try, the higher the chances that they would find a tail production that would actually make them a lot of money. So this is basically on the level of the companies. But when it comes to like individuals, for example, the comedians, everybody has heard about Chris Rock. He was recently slapped by, um, uh, what was his name? I even forgot his name. Will Smith. Yeah. So that guy basically before he goes on the tour, he actually performs in small clubs, and before he can actually perform in arenas, he has to go to small clubs and do 40-50 shows before he has his uh, tail jokes, which can be actually performed in the arenas or which can be put on Netflix, for example, in the special. So that is another example of tail events, tail things. And then we have another example of Warren Buffett. He said in one of his meetings in his company Berkshire Hathaway that he has owned 400 or 500, 4 to 500 stocks, and but most of the money that he has made has actually come from only 10 of them. And to that, Charlie Munger also added, he said that if you take away a few investments by Berkshire Hathaway, um, the returns of that company are pretty average. And I'm gonna end up this video by a quote from Mr. George Soros. He said that it's actually not about if you are right or wrong. It's about how much money you make when you're right, or how much money you lose when you're wrong. So yeah, this was basically the second part of the chapter 6. I hope you learned something and you probably understand and appreciate the impact the tail events have on anybody's success. So yeah, I'll see you in the next one with the explanation of the chapter 7. Have a good day. Bye bye.